I've lived in Delaware since 2004, which is a lot longer than I had intended to live in the state of Delaware. I'm from New York originally, grew up in New Jersey. I moved here for a job with JP Morgan Chase right out of college, and I said, oh, I'll be here for about a year, and then I'll, move back to, you know, the city or move back to New Jersey, which is where my parents live. And, um, I don't know, almost 20 years later, I'm still here. So, and I've actually spent the majority of that time with JP Morgan Chase. So my day job is I work in marketing, and I work specifically in one of their lending businesses, and I have for over 15 years. And I do a lot of things in that vein when it comes to marketing. It's relationship managing, vendor management, um, management across lines of business within JP Morgan Chase, which is a huge franchise, obviously. And through JP Morgan Chase, that's how I've found and come to love like Habitat. I've been like a longtime volunteer with Habitat. I've volunteered with my wife. We've been married. We've been married since 2007, and we have three kids. We live in Newcastle. We just moved here 3 years ago, and before that, we lived in Newark. But whether it was here at JP Morgan Chase or other places I've worked, I've always been a longtime volunteer.
Mm,
And so when an opportunity came up to join the board, I jumped at the opportunity.
awesome. And could
Yeah.
you um, talk more about your experience volunteering and what you have enjoyed most about that?
Yeah, yeah. For me, it's always been like one, knowing that you're making a contribution to your community. Like I said, I've lived and worked here for many years. So one, it's for me, it's always been about like making a contribution in my community, and then in a way that's impactful to the lives of people who live in the community. That for me has always been number one. But then also, because a lot of it has been through my employer, um, it's always been a great team building opportunity as well.
Mm-hmm.
Going out with a team, spending half a day, and and at the end of the day, being able to say, we put up all of the light fixtures in a home together, or we screwed on all the doors, or knocked in a bunch of nails for roofing. So it's always been a great team building opportunity, and you'll walk away feeling a sense of gratification, knowing that you're able to help somebody in your local community.
Nice. And
Yeah.
how long have you sat on the board?
Oh gosh, so I just joined the board last July. So this July will be my 1 year anniversary. So I'm still a newbie in that
Yeah.
sense. But with people like Kevin, the CEO, and Maureen, who I know and work with,
Mhm.
people have been very warm, welcoming, and gracious. And it's been great to get a whole lot closer to just the inner workings of the Habitat for Humanity Newcastle franchise in more detail. And you know, just going back to volunteering, like I've volunteered for Habitat, but never knew the mission of
Right.
Habitat. I never knew
Mhm.
like the official mission statement. And so when I was exploring board opportunities and and looked at their mission statement, seeking to put God's love in action, and bringing people together to build homes, communities, and hopes, I was saying like, this is like my life's mission statement. And so just perfect alignment there. And then when you meet the people who sit on the board, you also see this in practice as well. Like I said, they've been really warm and welcoming for me, and I felt like I could make a meaningful contribution with my marketing expertise and bringing that to the board. And so far, so good.
And that's a great point that you
Yeah,
mentioned. Habitat is so much more than just building homes.
yeah,
That's something I discovered as well when I first came into this position. You know, through building homes, we are providing homeowners with the tools to thrive
yeah.
and to be part of a loving community and to spread that impact um, through the community is a very meaningful thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I only, because I joined during a pandemic. If there's anything that I wouldn't call it a regret, but it's like being able to meet some homeowners in person and,
Yeah.
going to some of the ceremonies in person. We've done a whole lot virtually, but, but nonetheless, it's still been exciting.
And what attracted you to serving on the board at Habitat?
For me, it was, um, like I said, the mission, but
Mm,
then, you know, Habitat in Delaware still has so much more opportunity to make to really make more of an impact than they already have. Um, and just you're familiar with a lot of the numbers, but just in terms of the impact that they're making um, in the Delaware community, you know, this is one of the things that attracted me is knowing that 66% of the Habitat homeowners say that the children in their home are now doing better in school,
mhm,
right? 82% say they no longer need government assistance. And it was things like that where I was saying not only are they're making an impact for the people that they built homes for or built homes with. That's another thing is the model
mhm,
is not building homes for, but building homes with was something that really attracted me as well. And so being able to sit around the board and think through how can we actually help more people that are below the housing wage and to get into homes to help them put the sweat equity in and feel like they've earned it. And it just so happens that a lot of those homeowners are single mothers, 80% of them are, or African American, 80% of them are. And knowing that between, you know, African American and Latinx homeowners, it makes up 90% of the demographic. For me, just with everything that was going on last year,
mm,
with the killing of George Floyd, the pandemic going on, we knew, that there were going to be some 8 to 9 thousand evictions just because of everything going on
mhm.
with job related to jobs and employment. For me, it was just the perfect time with all those things happening and knowing the impact that Habitat is making in this respect to join a board of people who are like-minded and trying to help to actually turn those numbers in the right direction, get people into homes, and offer them a path to success.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And could you speak more about what your role on the board entails? Like, what does that
Mhm.
look like?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm on the marketing committee subcommittee
Mhm.
as a board member, and I've also just recently joined the racial equality subcommittee, which is brand new. So,
Right.
and I give a big shout out to Kevin for starting that subcommittee with just a handful of us, but it's growing. And so, my position, like every other board member, is to participate, ideate, contribute into key decisions that we're making in terms of fiscal responsibility, our footprint projects, homeowners that we're going to, go into partnership with, and and then just how we're operating and how we're
Mhm.
running as an organization. And then within, marketing, it's, we have a lot of events. I know, as you know, we have the big anniversary, 35th
Mhm.
anniversary this year, Kevin's anniversary
Right.
this year was major
A
as
lot of
well.
big things
And so there
happening.
was a lot happening all at the same time. I didn't know this when I was exploring board opportunities that this was going to be such a major year. But just being active and helping to contribute with ideas and planning for all of those big events like the breakfast that's coming up in June. And then on the racial equality community, again, racial equality subcommittee, it's new, but we're just giving a whole lot more thought to our policies and practices when it comes to hiring
Mm,
and giving people second chances, third chances, for those that have gone through the criminal justice system, and then just bringing a little bit more awareness to staff and board members around our position as an organization with respect to equality and racial equity, and how important home ownership is for for bridging some of that divide. But then I think just giving a little bit more awareness to society from a society standpoint, where we are and how we can make individual contributions as board members and employees. I was fortunate enough to join the MLK March with Stephen, with Kevin and a few others, and just
yeah, I
making our
was there
presence
too.
known.
That was awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and just making our presence known in the community that this is something that we support as an organization, and it really is core to what it is that we do.
Absolutely. I would
Mm,
agree too. It's core to making sure that um, our Habitat affiliate lease is a reflection of the community that
totally.
we serve as well. So
Yeah,
um,
absolutely,
I've I've
absolutely.
been really happy to see some of the diversity and inclusion initiatives that the affiliate has taken.
Yeah, absolutely.
And have you had any previous roles as a board member with other organizations?
Yeah, one other one, not including like church board memberships, but yeah, another organization that I've been fortunate, blessed to be a part of was actually up in the city of Chester,
Hmm.
Pennsylvania. And Chester is again just a city that is, um, you know, has struggled with violent crimes for a very long time.
Hmm.
Poverty ratios, poverty level is well below like the national average. And so there was a board that I was fortunate enough to join called the Better Living Center that was providing much needed, um, food resources and and school supplies for kids. Um, it was also a center we opened up to begin opening up to having conversations with the community and the police officers in those
Hmm.
communities about, you know, officer relationships and
Hmm.
how are we making sure that the community knows who's policing it and building some of those
Right.
relationships. And so we've had events like that, and also hosted a ton of other events where we're able to provide medical supplies, job training skills, and things like that.
Awesome. And I know you did come into this in the midst of COVID, but
Yeah.
have you had the opportunity to attend any dedications or homeowner welcomes in person or virtually?
Yeah, no, no, I haven't been able to attend them in person, but virtually, yes. At least a couple of the announcements to new homeowners that they were now, gonna be in the program, and just to be a part of that and to just experience, it's memorable. Like, I mean, we should tape every single
Yes.
one of these, but just to hear people how ecstatic they are that they're gonna actually be a homeowner, and to hear them say like, "I did it." I did it,
Yes.
or I'm going to tell my kids I did it, and it's a great feeling. In person, fortunately, we did have a volunteer event at the Restore, helping to go up there and to just help with a lot of a lot of cleanup work. So that was a tough day's work. But from a volunteer standpoint, again, not open to the community at large, but we were able to go up and volunteer half a day's worth of work at the Restore. So that was good because I was able to meet a few more board members in person, whereas I hadn't before. So that was great. And then beyond that, just the MLK March event, like I mentioned. But beyond that, everything has been virtual.
And what has it been like being able to converse with other board members that are also passionate about being involved with Habitat and building those types of relationships?
Well, it's great because everybody has like a different perspective,
Hmm.
and everybody else has a different, motive, if you will, for why they're on the board. But yet we all are united around this one common mission.
Right.
And so it's been fantastic, whether it's in a small group setting, or in the subcommittees, or in the boardrooms, or at a volunteer site, or at a march. It's been great just to get to know, why are you on the board, and what's your passion. I was also able to join at the golf outing. That's probably the one where I did get to meet like most of the board members, at least the ones who were there,
Hmm.
and it was great, in that kind of a setting, to late in the evening, when we had a few testimonials from homeowners, listening, sitting around the table, and talking with them a little bit more around like, um, you know, them being long-standing board members, what
Hmm.
continues to sort of fuel their passion, and bring them a sense of joy and gratification. And so it's been good.
And as we celebrate our 35th year, where and how do you personally hope to see the affiliate grow in the future?
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, if you live in Delaware and work in Wilmington, you know Habitat,
Mhm,
and um, for me, the Habitat affiliate here in Newcastle has a great brand and a great presence.
mhm,
And there's a lot of investment going into the city of Wilmington. I was actually just down in downtown Wilmington a few nights ago. I took my son to go get a haircut, and I'm looking at some of the apartments that are going up, right there off of Main Street. And it makes me think, for these apartments that are going up, and for people who are renting today, and 50% of their income is going to rent, which means that the opportunities are few and far between for them. How many of them know that they have, um, that they can be homeowners one day? How many of them know that they have more options than just renting, or even if it's in one of these like newly renovated apartment buildings that are going
right.
up? And so, and I don't know what that metric is as far as like community awareness on the part of like, you know, aspirational homeowners, but I feel
Mhm,
like there's a lot more opportunity there to let people know like you too can be a homeowner and there's a path for you. And so I think, there's an opportunity for us to make sure that there's more awareness from that standpoint, and a lot more partnerships with businesses that are coming to Wilmington, and that have been in Wilmington for a very long time. And so, Chase definitely has been a longstanding supporter, whether it's through volunteerism, grants, and things like that. And so, just even more involvement and partnerships with local organizations, because if you have a corporate presence in Wilmington, you're
mhm.
invested in helping to build up the community. And if you're not, you want to be.